You swipe right on someone attractive. They match back. The conversation starts well, maybe even leads to a date. But somewhere between the small talk and second-guessing every text message, you feel more isolated than when you were single. You're surrounded by infinite dating options, yet meaningful connection feels impossible to find. This isn't just bad luck. You're experiencing what psychologists call the paradox of choice, combined with something deeper, the modern erosion of authentic human connection. Dating apps promise to solve loneliness, but they've created a marketplace where people become commodities. You scroll through faces like items in a catalog, making split-second judgments based on curated photos and witty one-liners. The person behind the profile disappears into a collection of attractive features and lifestyle signals. The irony cuts deep. We have more ways to meet people than any generation in history, yet loneliness rates have skyrocketed. Studies show that 61% of young adults report serious loneliness, and dating apps often make it worse rather than better. Here's what's really happening beneath the surface. When you treat dating like shopping, you start treating yourself like a product too. You curate your photos, craft the perfect bio, and present a highlight reel of your life. But this performance creates a wall between who you really are and who you think others want you to be. Psychologist Barry Schwartz explains in The Paradox of Choice that too many options don't make us happier. They make us anxious, indecisive, and constantly wondering if something better exists just one swipe away. You might be talking to someone wonderful, but your brain whispers that the perfect person could be the next match. This endless comparison game triggers what Alfred Adler called the inferiority complex. You start believing you're not enough as you are. Maybe you need better photos, more interesting hobbies, or a more impressive job title. You begin chasing an impossible standard of perfection that doesn't actually attract authentic love. The dating marketplace also amplifies our deepest insecurities. When someone doesn't respond to your message, your mind creates stories. You weren't attractive enough, funny enough, or interesting enough. But the truth is simpler and less personal. They might be talking to 5 other people, overwhelmed by choices, or just not ready for connection. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the importance of focusing on what you can control. In dating, you can control your authenticity, kindness, and emotional availability. You cannot control whether someone swipes right, responds to messages, or chooses you over other options. The path forward requires a fundamental shift in perspective. Stop trying to optimize yourself for an imaginary market and start showing up as who you actually are. This means being honest about your interests, values, and quirks instead of presenting a sanitized version designed to appeal to everyone. Real connection happens when 2 people drop their masks and see each other clearly. This requires vulnerability, which feels terrifying in a culture that treats dating rejection as personal failure. But vulnerability is the only path to the intimacy you're actually seeking. Consider approaching dating with what psychologists call intrinsic motivation rather than extrinsic validation. Instead of asking, "Do they like me?" start asking, "Do I genuinely enjoy their company?" Instead of trying to impress them, focus on whether you feel comfortable being yourself around them. The people worth dating will appreciate your authenticity more than your performance. They'll be drawn to your genuine laughter, honest stories, and real personality, rather than your carefully crafted online persona. This doesn't mean lowering your standards or settling for less. It means getting clear about what actually matters for long-term compatibility, shared values, emotional maturity, and genuine mutual respect. Physical attraction matters, but it's just one ingredient in lasting connection. You can also practice what Stoics call present moment awareness during dates. Instead of mentally rehearsing what to say next or worrying about future outcomes, pay attention to how you feel in their presence. Do you feel energized or drained? Can you be yourself without performing? The loneliness epidemic isn't just about dating apps. It reflects a broader cultural shift away from deep, committed relationships towards surface-level interactions. Social media trains us to expect instant gratification and constant novelty, which makes the slow process of building real intimacy feel foreign. Breaking free from this pattern requires patience with yourself and others. Real love develops gradually through shared experiences, honest conversations, and mutual support during difficult times. You can't swipe your way to this kind of connection. The goal isn't to find someone who completes you, as popular culture suggests. The goal is to become a complete person who chooses to share life with another complete person. This requires doing the inner work of understanding your own values, healing your insecurities, and developing emotional intelligence. Dating will always involve some uncertainty and rejection. But when you approach it from a place of self-acceptance rather than desperate need for validation, you transform the entire experience. You stop looking for someone to save you from loneliness and start looking for someone to share the fullness of your life. The romance you're seeking exists, but it requires the courage to be genuinely yourself in a world that profits from your insecurity.